What's happening, people? Today I'm going to talk about the four stages of progress in life when it comes to being wherever you want to be. Okay. I'm a big frameworks guy. So hopefully you find this helpful. The four different stages are survival, security, success, and significance. And these frameworks have helped me over the past 20 years. Okay. What is survival? Well, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are on the struggle bus. You're trying to make it, right? Maybe you're homeless. Maybe your bank is constantly overdrawn. Your bank account's not your bank yet, right? Um, Maybe you are living hand to mouth, right? Struggling a lot. You don't even know how you're gonna make it, or uh, or if you're going to make it to the next day. All right, so that's survival. You're really only thinking about yourself. All right, and the dangers of survival mode are that there's a tendency to engage in behavior that is not in integrity with your values. All right. In fact, you don't even have standards at that point. Very, very tough stage to be in. I remember being in survival mode for many years of my life. In fact, survival mode can be very traumatizing. And we carry that trauma into different parts of our life. In fact, you may have been raised by parents who lived in survival mode when they had you, and they passed on that trauma to you. It can really be a block when it comes to your success, and it can sabotage you. But the next stage is security, and security is a little bit better. There's some money in the bank, right? There's one or two people who can back you up. Maybe you have a credit card with a decent limit. I remember that for me, security was as simple as having a credit card with a $300 limit, right? That was security for me. Security was having like a little apartment that was 250 bucks a month, a really place, but it was home, right? It had a cheap internet connection, had a slow little one of those web books from back in the day. Some of you might know a little web book. And life was good. I felt secure. I had a job. I was making some money. Security is also a place to be very wary of. While you might not engage in out of integrity behavior, you are also very likely to stay stuck there. Uh, if you've lived in survival for so long, security is a breath of fresh air. And if you've been traumatized by survival mode, you don't want to go back there. And so you stay in security, living in fear. There are so many people who are living in, and then you surround yourself with other people who are living in security, right? You don't have any plan or vision to move forward. But if you do, then the next stage would be success. What is success? Well, success is where you have an abundance of resources in your life, right? You have a little bit more to give. You can not to give, not only to give, but to enjoy life, right? Maybe you have a home, you have a little bit of extra money in the bank, you can start taking vacations, and you can grow in success, right? And you can keep doing that. And there are a lot of people who live in success, right? And it's good. There are also some people, depending on where you are in the world, the country that you're in, you might actually be in security, but your security feels like success. That's okay too, right? You just don't know any better. Ignorance is bliss, right? You're in the suburb, living in the mansion, thinking you're successful, but in reality, you're actually in security. You're just living in a country with a much higher standard compared to the rest of the world. And then finally, we have significance. What is significance? Significance is where the success is not enough. All right. Like you've come out of survival. You know what it's like to have security. You've enjoyed the things in life, and now you want to give back. All right. I'll use myself as an example of being in between success and significance, because there is a point in between them. Because you might be going like, well, I don't really relate to the survival thing. I feel like I'm sometimes in security and survival. That can happen due to your financial status, right? In my case, I'll be transparent. I'm in success, and sometimes I find myself in significance. But my goal is to be fully in significance, right? It's to fully let go of a lot of the material things that I'm attached to and start giving back. But the significance is not for the ego, even though for a lot of people it is, right? I'm not interested in putting my name on some college building or anything like that. But I want to be of significance as a human being to another human being, right? I want my behavior or my compassion or my giving to have an impact on somebody, not for my ego, but so that they remember or they can see that there's a capacity to do that. I want you to watch this and I want you to be a person who goes like, listen, this guy doesn't even speak it out well. This guy doesn't even look like this, or this guy is from this background or that background, or he looks this way. And you know what? If this guy can accomplish whatever the heck it is he's accomplished, I think I can do that. And that is enough. Like, that puts me in the realm of significance, at least at this point in my life, right? So I don't know where it is for you, but those are the four different stages, right? And within our programs and in my private coaching, I work with people to help them move through those different stages. Even in the work you do, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, you're in a business, you're a business owner, I want to talk about this too. You can serve people at different stages of their growth. You can serve people who are in survival. There are businesses that serve people in survival. It's a very rough place to be, right? Payday loans, right? I don't think that's a great business, but I think it's a great business in terms of being profitable. I think it's predatory, but it serves survival. And there are people who move from success to significance or through those different stages by serving those demographics. Fast food restaurants, right? McDonald's, things like that, right? There are many other businesses that serve that. There are people who are in security. When it comes to security, there's a market for that. Insurance, different types of insurance, serve people who are in the security mode of their life, right? There are people who are so into and understand these are communities, these are enclaves, these are tribes. They are tribes that are based off security, right? There are tribes that are based off survival. There are tribes that are based off success. There are tribes of people who are seeking significance. And each of these different stages can be served. There's a market for all of them. In real estate, there's a market for individuals who are in survival, right? There's a market, there's a Section 8 market, there's government housing, there's all these subsidies that are for people at a different stage. And if you understand how the game works, and you are not emotional about it. You're not emotional about being in survival. You're not having any moral issues around these things. I'm not saying be an immoral person. There's a lot of success to be had. Okay. I know there are a lot of gurus out there who are preaching and telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Listen, find that group that, first of all, understand where you are, like know your place, act your wage, of course, right? And then find a group that you can serve and serve them and do something for yourself, right? So I'm going to be putting together a series on um, going through these different stages and what your mindset is like as you go through them, because I've been through all four stages. And like I said, I'm in between success and significance. And hopefully you can find that helpful. And if you're wondering, like, who the heck am I? My name is JK Amazi. I'm the founder of Elevated Recovery. It is the world's #1 porn addiction recovery service, right? The world, the planet. We have hundreds of clients currently, and we have thousands of successful clients who have ended their out of control sexual behavior. Also run a few other businesses, and I'm partners in a few other businesses that are in the consulting, mentorship, and business coaching field. So if you'd like to know more about me, just hit me up in the DMs. I am open to a conversation when I have the time, and I'll speak to you later on in the week. Take care.